What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, again, it's just like kind of the last S2000 one, going to be a bit more of an instructional, as you know, when I was looking into doing this, couldn't find any information on exactly what it is that I'm doing. So this is a baffle plate. This is the Moroso baffle plate. It has these trap doors in it. So essentially what these do is the plate sits like this in the vehicle. So this would be the front of the car, this would be the back where the pan is where the oil drains back. So the oil can come in one way, the oil can come in that way, but it can't exit that way, just like this over here. So this is a Welding style. Now there's only one other video of some guys doing a Moroso pan on YouTube with an S2000, and it's just the whole pan itself. Nobody doing anything on the baffle, the Welding place. So that's what I'm here for. So I'm gonna go ahead. I need to do an oil change on this thing anyway. So because I got 2 track days on it, which is also the reason that we're doing this, because I do track the car. So yeah, we just want to add some insurance with this. First things first, get the car up in the air, drain your oil. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Then we got to pull the pan, and I'll walk you through that. Mine's gonna be slightly different than yours, but I'll show you what I mean. Now that you can see under the car pretty good, the difference that I'm talking about from what my car is going to be like to yours. So every S has this black bar going across the front subframe here. So you have to remove that in order to drop the oil pan. And then the only other thing you have to do is these 2 AC compressor bolts, these 2 lower ones right there. You break those off, and then you can see that part of the bracket is attached here. So that's why you need to do that. But no, I'm sorry, the 3. So this one and those 2. But mine is different because I have this Cusco brace here, so I have to take that off. But it's also, a little bit more tedious because if you see, I have the Hasport engine mounts in here. Now the only difference from OEM to those, other than the urethane, is that the OEM ones have studs that drop through here. So you're gonna have 2 nuts right here and 2 nuts right here. Mine doesn't have that. Mine uses through bolts, so I got to do a little bit more, trickiness in terms of supporting the engine while I take those bolts out, take my Cusco brace off, and then put those back in to hold the engine, and then you would go through, hit your 21 bolts on your oil pan, and then you would drop it. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna get cracking on that. Of course, drain the oil first, and move about the day. All right, everything's off. Oil pan's ready to be loosened. So you have 21 bolts going all the way around. I already cracked mine loose. I just did it in a crosshatch pattern just to be safe. And now I'm gonna go ahead and pull those all off. And you do have these little pry areas here. So you can use a pry bar on stuff like that. That little spot, you don't wanna use it, you know, where the mating surface is, because then you could have a bad time. Now, normally you do have a rubber engine stop right here. I don't know where mine is. I gotta order one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now and pull the pan down. Just be careful, because while you're working under there, it's gonna be constantly dripping. So I went ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and put some cardboard down. And another thing that I suggest you do is something that I did. You don't need to, I just like being better safe than sorry. So this is my little oil pan, and I just drilled out spots for the holes, because I think a couple of the bolts are a little bit longer. And yeah, you know, better safe than sorry. So let's pull this down. All right, pan is off. If you're having a hard time getting it off, like I said, it is secured with a bunch of silicone, so that's normal. But just give it a few good tugs and you should be good. So now my main thing is this has to be as clean as you can possibly get it. If you're taking it to somebody else to weld, I'm going to be doing it myself. But if you take it to somebody, make sure it's as clean as you can possibly get it, and then they're still going to clean it after that. But trick is a whole bunch of brake clean. You know, I'm going to test fit this. I'll show you that in a moment. And we'll see the weld areas, and we'll mark the weld areas, and we'll clean it to bare metal. So we got the pan cleaned up pretty good. So and a little bit, you know, left in there. I'll do that when I get to it. But just wanted to test fit the baffle really quick. So this is, you can see it's machined out, or, you know, laser cut to fit only in one spot. So it is ideally supposed to just plop right in, just like that. Now any contact points are going to be where you're going to be welding it. So obviously your fabricator or your welder guy should know that, but just so you guys know, so you know, welding along this seam, you know, welding along here a little bit, some contact points like in the bottom of the pan. But yeah, we're going to get a good weld in here. Kind of take you guys off the tripod here. Yeah, so that's exactly how it fits. Now again, you can see we got the trap door behind those holes there. So again, the point is to let the doors open to let oil in and keep the majority of the oil here for the pickup, and where it can't, you know, go up that way. So if it sloshes against the wall, you know, it stays in this area, but because the, you know, the tilt of the oil pan. But if it sloshes up this way, it can't, because this trap door. But if oil does happen to come back down, you know, down the side of here, the oil can escape back into the middle. So very cool design. I'm gonna go ahead, keep prepping this. We'll lay down some tack welds, ensure fitment, and then we'll lay final welds. And my lovely associate Doge has showed up to assisting. Ooh, that's nasty. It looks like a brown piece of spaghetti.
It's holding out, man.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed. What year is this car again? Yeah, you figure it was built in 02? Right?
Yeah, something like that.
21 years.
It's looking pretty good though. But all right, yeah. So, oh, and I did the panning shot, but you guys can definitely see some of these bolts are much different length. So it probably wouldn't hurt to, you know, make your own cardboard cutout.
So
There you go.
Like on the one side too. They're just the announcers were talking. They're like, the track manager isn't gonna like. Yeah.
Got the weld spots all cleaned up, so I just hit it with the acetone. I'm gonna go ahead and test fit again, and then I'm going to tack it, and then hopefully we should be good there to lay the final welds. We got our tacks in place, so you can see I got the one in that corner. That's the one that you saw me using the clamp on. Got one around there. So I'm going to try and wrap that around the corner slightly, trying to avoid the outside edge, obviously. Tack right there, and then that one there. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these final welds, and we'll get this thing ready to go back up. Final welds are done. We got a good stitch there, good stitch there, good stitch there, and a good small stitch right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool. Then I gotta finish getting, the silicone off the edges of this guy, and we'll be good to Honda bond it up and get it slapped up. All right, got it resealed. Well, the silicone laid. Let's go ahead and slap it up.
Further up.
All right, smart ass.
All right, so you got a dowel there, and you got a dowel on the front. Just give this jiggle. Silicone on the way.
I just gotta send her home.
Got everything put back together, so oil pan is torqued down. We gotta let the Honda bond cure though. So it roughly takes 12 hours before you want to add any fluids to it. It varies depending on what sealant you're using, but I'm gonna just wait it out till tomorrow. So we'll finish this video up when I can add some oil. We can fire this thing up. All right, so we got oil in this thing. Go ahead, do a test fire, check the oil level, check for leaks. A concern was raised last night after I posted on my Instagram about this, that one of my buddies had mentioned these older, this is a newer Moroso baffle, but he had mentioned some of the older ones had trapdoors that didn't like to open as freely. I'm pretty sure mine was opening pretty freely. I was kind of going through the footage trying to see what I could find, and we seemed to be okay, but only one way to find out, I guess. Yeah, let's give it a test fire. This sounds good so far. I think we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let it idle for a minute, give it a leak check, get under there with my flashlight, and we'll check the oil level, but I'm gonna wrap this video up there. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, there's, like I said, no information on this exact setup, doing the weld-in setup, so hopefully if you guys are curious about doing it for yourself, this gives you a little bit of insight, that came pump, as to what goes into it. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing by now. If you ever feel like supporting the channel, I do have a big cartel with the merch, some of my metal products when they're in stock, and Vivid Racing and Amazon affiliate links. Click those, buy something, kicks me a few bucks back, helps me support the channel. So anyways guys, thanks for spending some time out of your day with me. Do what you love, think about the rest. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.